All right, welcome back to the channel. So on today's episode, we're going to dive underneath little by little here and fix something that's been long overdue. So if you're a fan of the channel and you've watched me work on this old truck for the last 3 years, you'll notice that in one of the earlier episodes, I actually made an observation when I was down here. You can you can see the input and output shaft on this 1241 auxiliary 4-speed transmission is leaking just from sitting so long, and now we're using it again. So it's spraying oil just everywhere. But then I'm also able to click the bearing up and down, so there's clearance in there. And this U-joint is shot as a result. I don't know if you can see the movement there, but I can feel it. So when I drove this truck to the Let's Go Pro Show and Shine, it's not that far, probably only a half hour away from home here, but I was actually worried about driving this because there's so much play in here that I thought it was just going to pound out this U-joint, even though of course we were just empty. But I had a spare U-joint and I had the Tiger tool and I had all that stuff just in case I needed to swap it out. But the reason I didn't swap it out to drive to the show is because this is going to get pounded out anyway. I didn't want to put a new U-joint in and then have it hammer away. So now that it's winter, now that the truck's parked here for the winter, I thought this was a perfect opportunity, and I reached out to the gear center in Edmonton and I said, can you guys still work on these old Spicer 1241 auxiliary boxes? And they said, absolutely. Drop it into your truck and bring it in here and we'll fix you up. So with that, I guess we're going to try and take this transmission out of here today, and I bought a cheap Princess Auto transmission jack. So hopefully we don't drop this on our head, and then we'll wheel it over to the gear center, get it rebuilt, and throw it back into place.
There's an awful lot of the guys that they think that, all they got to do is go out and buy a truck and they're going to make it. And that's not true. I mean, you got to be about a half businessman today to make it in this trucking business.
Smarter man would have probably taken that transmission out when this sleeper was off the truck back a couple years ago when I had it outside. And my cousin actually told me, he said, get that transmission out of there and take it into the shop and get him to give it a once over. And I didn't listen to him, and I wish I would have. I was thinking maybe I'll drop this out of here and take it to a local tranny shop and have it give it the once over, seals, bearings, etc. But I'm thinking maybe I might just pull the cap, do a quick visual, see how she's looking in there once I get it cleaned up.
Oh, idiot.
Because that would have been so much easier, because actually the bolts are on top of the transmission. You can kind of see them there. So we're gonna have to try and reach underneath in this 4-inch gap and undo the bolts to be able to let it down. But it sure would have been nice to be able to pick it from above. But I'm not about to remove the bunk just for that. So we're gonna see if we can get this transmission out from underneath. Fun. Okay, so first up, we're gonna have to get this short little drive shaft out of here. Now, if you're not familiar with how the twin stick transmission works, is there's actually, so this is a 6-speed transmission that's actually made it up to the Cat diesel engine. And it's just got 6 gears in it, like a transmission in a normal pickup truck. And then it's got this short drive shaft that connects to the 4-speed auxiliary. So you can basically take all 6 of the gears in the first transmission and split them 4 ways, because you've got 4 gears behind it. And then these are the rods up here that go back and forth, and they're connected up to that second transmission stick. So when you've got it in first gear, that's this first rod here, and it would be pushed back. So basically these rods just go forward and back, and they just actuate the forks inside the transmission, and it just moves the gears in and out of the slots for the 4 speeds. So we'll go ahead and mark out this U-joint and we'll drop it out of here. And then we'll do the same for the back. We'll have to drop the back U-joint. And then of course we want to take all the oil out of here, because I just put this oil in a year ago. It's maybe got 100 miles on it. And that's kind of the reason as I wasn't driving this truck that much as well, is because I knew this was an issue and I didn't want to damage it more than it needed to be. So I've kind of been waiting to I've been putting this off, but I mean, you can just see that it's just making a huge mess down here and it's just too far gone. So now's the time. So we'll drain the oil, we'll get the U-joints out of here, and then we'll rig up that floor jack. Now that jack's supposedly good for 1,000 pounds, and I've been doing some research online, and this Brownie is about 500 pounds. And a lot of people call them a Brownie. Originally I thought that's because they were in the shape of a Brownie, but it's actually because the company that manufactured these was called Brown Lippy, and they made auxiliary transmissions and primary transmissions as well, and they eventually got bought out by Spicer. So now these are manufactured by Spicer. I think you can actually still get them. I don't know if they still make brand new ones, but I do believe they still have air shift ones. I don't know if they still make the new older style with the sticks. But a lot of the trucks in the oil patch still need auxiliary gears, auxiliary transmissions, just because they need more gear ratios so they can haul that heavy equipment out of the bush. Okay, anyway, I've been yapping a lot, so let's get working and see if we can take this thing out of here safely.
I'm tired of looking lonesome on the
Okay, let's see what kind of floor jack we bought here. So yeah, like I was saying, it's good for 1,100 pounds, so it should be fine from a weight perspective to be able to handle the weight. But what I'm worried about is the platform might not be large enough, so I might have to weld something up, strap the transmission to it, because it's not perfectly flat on the bottom of the transmission. It's kind of got that V, and that's what worries me. I sure don't want this thing to wobble when it comes out of there. Oh, this thing's pretty stout. Oh. Okay, looks like we gotta put some wheels on there. That's actually a good handle for the jack on the Duke. Might have to steal that. Okay, let's get these wheels on here. There, how about that? That's gone here. Yeah, it's pretty slick. And you can adjust the tilt of the platform. Okay, I think this will work. And what I'm hoping to be able to do, I don't want to have to drop that tank if I don't have to. So I'm hoping when the transmission is on there, I'll be able to kind of swing it through and bring it through here. I might have to take the mud flap off and maybe that air tank, but it'd be easier than taking off the fuel tank. So hopefully this works. Now of course still got to get the U-joints out, but I want to try this out and see what kind of mods it's going to need to hold this transmission up. So what I'm wondering, I kind of like how these fingers are on the back side, but those ones aren't going to reach, and it's kind of cockeyed. So I wonder if I cut these ones off. That way this goes up flat, and then run some sort of strap over the top of the transmission or chain and suck it down. It would sure be neat to be able to bolt the transmission to this plate somehow, just so it's attached positively. Okay, I think it's gonna work. I gotta play with this a bit to safeten it up.
Stop so unsafe, Smitty. Safen up.
Oh, this is so much more fun than doing it from above. Okay, so first up, some of these bolts holding the caps have have these little tabs that are folded over the nuts. Just gonna get those off of there. Whoop. Yeah, these are gonna come out real easy because they're just pounded. See, that's what I was talking about there. And these little guys just fold over top of the nut so they can't back out. They're my favorite design. Oh, look at that. You can just take the caps out by hand. You can see the little needle bearings in there. Now, when they don't come out that nice, I like to use this Tiger Tool U-joint puller. We still may have to use it, but that one sure came out nice. Okay. Oh, are you in gear? Oh, no. Damn. Where's my helper? Go run up there and put it in neutral. It's gonna get really old. Okay. There we go. Okay, now I'll do the bottom one. Now to clarify why I didn't take this transmission out of here. Well, I guess I could have when the bunk was off. But once the bunk was installed, I didn't want to attempt to drop this transmission just using a gravel base. Oh, someone got creative and used a different size nut there. I didn't want to use the transmission jack on gravel just because it wasn't a nice, flat, solid place to put the jack, and I was worried that it just increased the risk too much. So I was kind of waiting till I got the shop finished here and had a nice, wow, I've never been able to take caps off by hand, and had a nice flat floor to try and attempt this. I'm still nervous about it though, I'll tell you. Okay, I guess I gotta take the other ones off. This thing is big and heavy. Alright, one short drive shaft removed. Don't let the size fool you folks, that thing's still heavy. Oh, get out of there. I tell you though, this Tiger Tool is invaluable. I mean, most of the caps on this side just came off. They just fell out of there because they were so pounded, but the front there was a couple seized, and as you saw in the video there, I had to use this. So this thing is worth its weight in gold. Thanks again to the Tiger Tool company for that. Okay, so now you get a better look at the shift rods. You can see they go into this little hump there on top of the transmission, and underneath that there's just forks. So there's your two shift forks. Oops. Down like that. So as these rods go back and forth, they just move the forks and select whatever gear and move the other shaft. So there's a counter shaft on both sides, and then the main shaft that just kind of swings over and clicks in. And that's how it selects the different gears, underdrive, direct, and then over. Okay, I guess I need to drop the back drive shaft. Well, at least disconnect it from this guy, and then we'll just probably strap it up and leave it in place. Okay, onwards and upwards. So I always like thinking of safe ways to do things, and I thought, well, as I'm digging in here, undoing bolts, I want to make sure, like I'll wheel the floor jack in, but I want to make sure that it's held in place as well. So then I thought, why don't I put straps, one at the front there, and then I'll do one at the back on the belly to cradle it against the frame. And again, the floor jack will be under it as well, but that way it'll be securely held in place, again, as I try and unbolt everything. And that way, when we're finally ready to lower it down, I can just loosen the straps and then let the jack take the weight. Plus, it'll be a good way to test that the jack can actually take the weight, because if it's sitting in the basket of the straps, I can use the jack to raise it up and see how solid it is. So I think this will work, I hope. Yeah, I'm liking this, because when it's tight, you can actually raise the transmission a little bit. You can see that, so it's really taking the weight. Okay, good and safe.
Woke up this morning, it was drizzling rain. Round the curve come a passenger train. I heard somebody yodel and a hobo moan.
Okay, so let's take a little inventory of where we're at. Okay, so I got all the bolts out of this support bracket. It just sits up there. So I believe the front of the transmission is now free, but there's still that bracket at the back with those 2 bolts. So I can get those from up above, and then that should release it all the weight onto the jack stand. Now, as you can see, I had to play with this a lot a lot of iterations to try and make it work. I cut the fingers off these guys, and then so I could use the holes obviously to bolt it. But I like that idea because now it's attached to the platform there, so I think it's going to work. And I gave it a little lift there, and it lifted it up, and then settled it back down. So I think it's gonna work. So my work down here, I think for now is done. So we'll go up top and release those 2 bolts, and then again, I've still got these safety straps. So even if it releases, the jack should take the weight, but it should still be cradled by these straps. Fingers crossed. Oh, we haven't fun yet. Okay, slow and easy. Oh, that's heavy. What if I can tilt it back? The other way. Holy cow. I wonder if I can just let her down. Down. Oh, that's a relief.
It's like winning, winning, winning.
Man, I'm not looking forward to putting that thing back in place. Okay. All right, let's see if we can get this thing out of here. Oh, oh, funny game. Okay, so of course, the air tank and the bracket was in the way, but I think I got that figured out now. Oh, man, this thing is stout. I should probably go push from the other side. Oh, I could sure use a helper sometimes. Okay. I'm gonna hold on to it. There, something like that. Okay. Let that be a lesson to all you viewers out there. If you have the chance to do something when it's easier, do it. How nice would it have been to take this Brownie out. Oh, don't hit the tank mark. Take this out when it was nothing above. I could have used something to pick it. Oh, straighten it still. But oh no, I like to do things the hard way. There, is that gonna clear? That's gonna clear. Yeah, this wouldn't have worked on gravel. I can tell you that right now. Up. Got my nice tank. There we go. Oh, 1 spice or 4-speed, sir. Thank you. Can I have another? Okay. Let's do some evaluation here. See what we got. So I'm just looking at these. We'll probably need some new bushings. This seems loose as well. You can feel it click. Oh, this one's really loose. Look, you can see it moving in and out. Huh, I bet if I would have just tightened this nut up, it would have fixed a lot of that slop. But again, the seal's still shot. So it's worth taking in. Okay, so we'll throw some degreaser on there and then we'll try and figure out a way to get it into the back of the truck and then off to the gear center. So you long-time viewers will be happy. I'm back outside. Come on. Oh. God, this thing's heavy. There it goes. Hold together, pal. Hold together. Grab it from the other side. Come on. A little further. So, I really wish I would have kept that forklift, but it was just too far gone. I really got to figure out a way to lift heavy stuff in there. But for now, I dragged this back in here because I've got the old chain falls from the rafters. So I'll be able to pick it, lift it up, and then we'll throw it in the back of the old F350.
Jimmy, he did, he been a long time gone, been a long time gone. Been a long time gone.
Like I always say, where there's a will, there's a way. Good old rafters worked again. But like I said, I could sure use some sort of lifting setup in the new shop. I'll have to look into that. But for now, that worked. So we'll unhook the chains and we'll zip this over to the gear center and see if they can't get her all fixed up.